Hello everyone, welcome back to our final race of the evening in the Metal Gear Solid 3 European Extreme Tournament. We have losers round 1, which is JosephJoestar316 versus Spartyy. We've seen them play today already, they're both looking extremely strong. A few mishaps here and there. This game will be commentated by Mini Omega King, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Always, and Major Zero, welcome back, dude.
Hello, pleasure to be here. Love coming with Minnie, and I'm excited to come this race.
And they are away, so the
There they
loser
go.
of this match will be eliminated from the tournament. So we will be sending someone home today, but what a performance from both. Let's make this the fight of our lives.
Yeah, this is the fight that everyone was waiting for. This is the one for the tournament, the really exciting one.
Even Minnie's dog's excited. It's all going off.
Yeah, she's ready.
So this race is running time without loads. Both competitors are using the load remover. So we know that Joe has a slower loading PS3 that will not play a part in this at the end because we're going to eliminate all loads from the final time. Not a whole lot goes on in Virtuous Mission. Virtuous Mission really serves as a tutorial for the game, basically to get the player comfortable with the controls and how the game plays in general. Not a whole lot to worry about for the speed run.
Oh yeah, do we have predictions started yet?
I'm trying to do it in the background here, but I always have trouble with this mod view thing, so I won't be a sec.
Just / prediction. It brings up a window, and it's really easy to do that way. So we see Spartyy is going into the first room with guards. He's going to do a quick headshot on the first guard. Basic premise of this is you use the auto aim to lock on to the guard horizontally, go into first person, and stand on your toes, and that'll line you up perfectly to shoot the guard right in the head. Works best if you're on the same level as the guard, which you are there. And then he just trank rolls that second guard, and he's out. The third guard can be simply dealt with by just rolling into him. You'll be out of the room by the time he stands up, so you don't really have to worry too much. Joe does something a little bit different. He's going to manually aim that shot. I don't like doing that. I like to eliminate as much aiming as I can. Basically, that's relegated to boss fights only. And we see Sparty's doing the same thing on the bridge that he did in the previous room. Going to do a quick headshot, even 2 quick headshots on these guards. Get them out pretty quickly.
Yeah, you will not be seeing much manual aiming in this run at all. A lot of it will be done with auto aim and with quick headshots and a lot of other techniques that we'll be describing as we see them.
And now we see Spartyy going into the final room in Virtuous Mission with guards in it. He's going to open up with a quick headshot on this guard here, roll up the hill, and do 2 body shots on the guard that's standing on the second level platform there. And because he shoots him twice, that means that guard is going to be unconscious by the time he gets to this position here. If you only shot him once, then he would have gotten an alert. Ooh, and that roll was sketchy. Did you see that, Minnie?
That was really late, yeah.
That whole last section was sketchy. He had an iffy roll into that first guard on the at the end of the room. And then even had a sketchy roll to get out of the. That was close. The goal there, of course, is to roll into the guard. He's going to see you, as you noticed by the exclamation point, and you have to just roll into him quickly, knock him over before he has a chance to actually alert on you. Timing's kind of tight on that roll. Nice, clean roll from Joe.
Not as easy as it looks. Yeah, very nice from Joe. Like I had mentioned in the first race of the day, Virtuous Mission is kind of like your warm-up, and introduces a lot of the core mechanics that you'll be seeing throughout the rest of the run. And pretty much once you get out of here, that's where it really starts. So we get a nice little, slightly not as stressful as the rest of the game warm up.
Yep, once Operation Snake Eater starts, the game really kind of just jumps up to 1,000. You open up Operation Snake Eater with 2 really hard rolls and 2 really big opportunities to lose a lot of time, especially if you get stuck there.
So again, it may seem like there's a huge gap between them, but it's actually pretty close if we're going with, and since we're not counting loads in this, they're actually pretty close together right about now.
Definitely. So now we see Spartyy going into that first of 2 really hard rolls I was mentioning earlier. The goal here is he's going to roll at a particular moment after crossing a tree, basically, which gets the attention of the 2 guards that are north of him in the room, and that's going to make them stop in their tracks instead of walking closer to Snake, which means that he has just enough time to sneak by without getting an alert. That roll is very tight, and so is the movement to get around that corner without getting spotted. That was really good from Spartyy. After that, what he did is he equipped a stun grenade and cooked it. And that's a bug in this game. You can cook any throwable item, and on certain terrains, that'll silence Snake's footsteps completely. That's used a few times in the run, but that's one of the places where it's used. So now we see Spartyy doing the second very tough roll. The hard part is in between those 2 trees, because trees aren't exactly tree-shaped. They're kind of just big rectangles. So it's very easy to not know exactly where the actual hitbox of the tree is and get stuck on it. If you don't make it through the tree on the first roll, there is absolutely no recourse. You just get an alert. Tough roll, and it's tightly timed. So really good execution from Spartyy there. Now we see Joe doing the first roll. Nailed it. Got around the corner cleanly. Very good. Love to see it.
And Joe executes it as well. Very, very nice. So Sparty's about to enter the first boss fight of their own Ocelot unit. And there is a lot going on in this fight. And we'll actually be seeing slightly different variations from both runners. So they will both be doing their own take on the Ocelot unit.
So like he said, Ocelot unit, first boss of the run. Immediately we're going to equip the Mark 22 because we're going to use that for the majority of the fight. Pretty much all of it, in fact. And plant a body shot on this guard just outside the window. It's really important that it's a body shot because you want to make sure that this guard does not fall asleep too early because it'll get the attention of the roof guard too early and you'll just get an alert instead. Again, plant another body shot on this guard for the same reason. And throw a stun grenade in this doorway, which will, if you planted it right, stun all 4 guards at once without him having to do any cleanup, and it did. Cleanup on the roof guard, nice. Good stun. So now he does something, Spartyy does something a little bit different. He likes to take out this southern guard after the stun grenade guard. That's a little bit different than what most people do, but it's perfectly fine. Same speed and all. Just a little bit easier. And then 2 body shots on that final guard will end the fight. That was very clean. That's really good execution on Ocelot unit. Now we see Joe going into the same fight. His execution will be slightly different. Ooh, and he hits the save boss. That is not so bad for Joe because he only has 1 save. He prepared for such an eventuality and deleted all of his other saves. But still, that's like 5 or 6 seconds lost. So, Joe goes for the brown face paint. Interesting. That is old Apache strats. He picked that up from when he did an I'm No Rookie session with Apache a few months ago. That was pretty good stuff. So yeah, like I said, his execution is going to be mostly the same. The only thing that's really going to change is the southern guard. He's going to headshot him right now. This shot is a little bit tough, as you can see. You can't see that guard's head real well. It does have to be a really quick kill, so you really want to get that headshot. That's why Spartyy opts to do the headshot later on instead. Ooh, and that is super weird. Why did that guard run out like that? Ooh, I don't think he got him there. Oh, no, he did. Okay. And that puts the roof guard in a really unfortunate position. He was not in a normal place. Normally, the roof guard would be in a very convenient place where you can headshot him, and he's going to opt to use a stun grenade. That is going to be a big problem when he gets to Ocelot. And he takes the alert.
Oh no, Joe.
That was shaping up to be the greatest Ocelot unit backup of all time, but sadly it affected the roof guard too much.
Yeah.
It's hard to know, like...
Oh no, this is an alert. Oh, he stood up on the bed. You hate to see that.
Yeah, you really have to fully let Snake come out of first-person view before you try moving around that bed. It's a very common mistake people make. Like, it's worth some patience. Like, we go so fast with the Ocelot unit. There is space to breathe between things, but it's just like the whole fight creates such a sense of urgency. Even the music adds to it, right? Like, you just want to go like lightning speed, but you can take that time to let yourself fully come out of first person view and make sure you're not going to walk up onto that bed, which is just certain death for your run.
Absolutely. Oh, and he's a little bit too far
bad position. That was a scary. Shoot him quick.
Nice.
Okay, now you can wait for him. I wouldn't go out there, Joe.
Oh,
that headshot looked questionable.
Oh.
And he got the instant headshot on the last guard. Very nice. That last one was decent, but very rough couple of attempts before that. In the meantime, we see Spartyy going into the Ocelot fight. The Ocelot fight, you're going to basically loop him for the whole time. Stop him in his tracks by shooting him in the back with the Mark 22. Does some stamina damage on him. Throw a stun grenade at him, which does stamina damage as well, and also keeps him in place, lines you up for another headshot. Do the same thing again. And this time you're going to shoot the Markor in the back, which makes it so that when Ocelot recovers from this shot here, he's going to hear the Markor and be distracted by it for a few seconds, letting you get a couple more headshots. And then one more body shot should be enough to finish the fight, and that was perfect. That was an ideal Ocelot fight.
Yeah, that was really good. Wow. That was an incredible Ocelot fight.
That's what you're looking for. That was grade A. What can happen is Ocelot can often escape from you at any point in the loop, but he most often does it right at the end. He can run in many places after he takes those final shots. Ideally, you want him to run back. That's exactly what Spartyy got, but he can run either to the right or to the left, and that means you're going to have to do some funky shots to finish the fight. But he didn't have to do that this time, so that's really good. And you just noticed...
usually if he goes like right or left, he's probably you're going to have to dodge like a shot or two before you can actually get that final hit on him.
And you really don't want to get shot by Ocelot because he does a lot of damage.
Yeah, he does a lot of damage.
We see Joe going into Bolshaya past south. This room is on a timer. You might have noticed in the previous run, Spartyy actually recognized that he had lost the timer and took a continue to reset the room because it was going to be faster overall to do that than to try to save it somehow. So we're going to see Joe. He's going to shoot the wall, which gets the attention of a dog, makes him bark, which gets the attention of a guard at the end of the room, and he moves out of the way for us, which is really convenient when we get to the electric fence. He's going to be just out of our way. So now he's going to put the box on, which gets the attention of a guard standing at the electric fence on the other side. Makes him walk out of our way as well so he doesn't alert on us. Oh, going for a little bit of... that was... Did he know that was going to happen?
He did that in his other run, so it's possible, or maybe he just wasn't exactly sure. I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, he did that in his prior race.
Well, as we see, Spartyy is now in the pain fight. For phase 1, he opened up with a smoke grenade, which the goal of that is to keep the first swarm of bees from being able to attack Snake. The bees will disperse if they run into smoke. And then that gives you some opportunities to plant some headshots on the paint, bring down his bee shield with a grenade, and then finish phase 1 with some headshots. And phase 2 is the same as the ending of phase 1. Throw a grenade to bring down his B shield, and then finish him with some headshots, some well-placed headshots. His head hitbox is a little bit weird. It's more like the bottom half of his head, sort of chin around that area.
That was also a really good pain fight by Spartyy.
Definitely.
That was very clean.
Any fight where you don't get the second B shield in either of the phases is really good. You'll take that in any run. Ooh, also a really good Ocelot from Joe. I do believe
wow, that was good.
He had some issues with Ocelot in one of his previous runs, but really glad to see that he nailed it this time. So far, these runs are shaping up to be pretty good. Only major issue so far I've been with Joe in Ocelot unit.
But again, there's still lots of stuff that in European Extreme can just roadblock you, and you can just get stuck having to retry some room over and over again. So don't think it's like a set game now, because it honestly can change at any point. So again, the movement Sparty's doing here, it works out just in the right way, so that right when you go underneath these spotlight guards, they turn around and won't catch you. So it is very convenient that we don't really have to do any shenanigans in this room, and it's just kind of swim forward.
So the room that Sparty's in now, he's kind of searching for the barrel, I guess. I think he got pressure-sensitive buttoned, actually. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, so, that was probably what happened.
The room that he's in now, you'll notice he shot the barrels. That's really, really important. So not only does it take out pretty much all of the guards in this room, so you have a clean line through, but it does damage to the end. And that damage will carry on into his fight. So when you get to his fight, he'll have less health than he normally would. And that is critical for letting us one-screen him, basically kill him quickly during the actual fight. It's possible in that area to snipe him early with the SVD. The problem with that is it's quite slow for a speedrun. You would have to go out of your way to get the SVD, which loses quite a lot of time. Snipe him, which loses Foxhound. Then go through his area when you actually get to his fight, walking through the Ocelot unit guards instead. And you don't get the Mosin to top it all off, which we would use on the Fury and the boss to make the fights considerably faster. So it loses quite a lot of time to snipe the end early.
Yeah, it's like the initial minute to 2 minutes of time lost in going to grab it, and then just a lot more time lost in other boss fights and later screens throughout, so it's just not worth it.
Going into lab. Lab is sort of a breather. It's not free, but it's definitely easier than the stuff that preceded it.
Yes.
For most of lab, you're going to be using your scientist outfit, which means that the guards will not really notice you. The only threat is the scientists, and they aren't really much of a threat either. So there, Spartyy opted to shoot that guard in the head. He has another strat where he would body shot the guard multiple times while running up to him. It is definitely faster, but it is quite a lot riskier. We've seen that fail before, and if that fails, you're pretty much guaranteed to take a continue. So
yeah, that's like guaranteed to continue there.
Sparty's going to wait as long as he can to equip the scientist outfit. He wants to get as far in the room as possible, because when the guards outside of the lab see you in the scientist outfit, they won't alert on you, but they'll try to take you back to jail. You see there that guard is saying, "Not so fast." If you wait too long, that guard will take you back to jail, and that loses a lot of time. So to combat that, he does two things. One, he waits really long to put it on. And two, after he puts it on, he flicks the box on and off, which resets the guard's AI. So that it basically resets the timer, so they don't take you back as quick. Gives you a little bit more leeway. It's possible to make it out without doing that, but it's a very free safety strat to just go ahead and flick the box on.
Yeah, it's like half a second lost if you do that, which is honestly worth it, because the time lost from getting caught is like, what? A lot?
I think it's like 45 seconds, maybe more.
Yeah, and in a game like this, that's pretty huge.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the door's keeping Sparty hostage.
Thankfully, he didn't go for the roll out the door. If you roll out the door and get a slow door, you're either going to take an alert or you're going to have to sit there waiting for the guard to inspect you. So glad that played out the way it did. He didn't go for that roll. We see Apache shooting the barrels as well.
Apache?
The dogs. Sorry, it's Apache Joe. I have the last race stuck in my head.
Yeah, there's still stuff going on in the lab, but for the most part, it's kind of like a quick breather that you get right before you get back into the action.
Something we didn't get a chance to explain is Warehouse 1, which you can see Joe doing now. He starts off with a tough roll over that railing, which he kind of whiffed, but he knew his backups, so that's really good. He got a slightly bad roll. He rolled off to the left side of those boxes, which means that he didn't have as much time to make it to that guard without getting alert. He knew that, so he equipped the box, which makes the guard take longer to alert on you, give him more time to get through the room, and he nailed that backup. That's really good. Good awareness.
Wow, that was very clean. Very clean backup.
All right, we see Sparty taking off the suppressor from his Mark 22. He's going to do fast lab exit. It's ripped straight out of an MS run, but it's not MS. It's not hard at all. I don't know why nobody did it before that, but he shoots his gun as soon as he can, which gets the guard's attention here, makes him turn around, and then he's just going to plant 2 body shots in. Simple as that. That's all it is. And the guard's going to be asleep by the time he gets in front of him. Won't get an alert, and he'll be out scot-free.
On his way to the fear.
On his way to the fear. He is on New Game Plus, so he can cheese him quite easily. Both runners are on New Game Plus. The fear strat is the fear's a really easy boss on New Game Plus. All he's going to do is fake death pill as soon as the fight starts. He's going to revive at a particular moment, and once he does that, he's going to throw a stun grenade. Once it explodes, just unload on the fear with the Patriot. It's super simple. It really is that easy. There's nothing more to it. What stun grenades do to the fear is they make all damage that he takes turn into stamina damage, and it removes all of his iframes. So as you can see, the fight's over just like that, blink of an eye. Even on European Extreme, it is just that fast.
Yeah, he's we make quick work of him. Sparty on the ever scary Warehouse 2. We'll see how it treats him.
I'm not going to say anything until after. Let's go! Okay, that is the first clean Warehouse 2 of the night. Warehouse 2 has been a bit of a killer. Every single runner in every single race today has had at least one continue in the Warehouse. Warehouse 2. Really glad to see that Sparty made it out on first try. Let's hope Joe does as well. So what he did is he landed on top of a guard in Warehouse 2, which knocks him out, and then does a box headshot on the guard in the middle of the room. A box headshot, basically the way it works is when you come out of the box and shoot your gun immediately, Snake's auto-aim shoots just a little bit higher than it normally would, and that in combination with a guard noticing Snake, he's going to lower his head. So those two things together allow you to get a headshot if you can line it up properly. It is a super fast way to take out guards, but it does require very good aim because the auto aim does not work at all.
That is true.
Bit of a strange line from Sparty, but it works. Going into the end. The end is he's going to be using the hybrid loop. It's a relatively new strat. It was found 6 months ago now, I think, by Go Time.
Yep.
And what he's going to do is he's going to open up the fight with 3 Mark 22 shots right on the end's head. These are, of course, long range shots, so your aim has to be really good. He's aiming for high damage, and he got it. That is good damage. That is just about as high as you can get. You're definitely happy to get that. So now he's going to run into a particular position because it's going to influence where the end goes later when he teleports. And he's going to do 6 punch-punch-kick combos because he needs to wait 25 seconds. And doing these combos pretty much is exactly 25 seconds. Throws a smoke grenade in between him and where he knows the end is going to go. And then makes some noise by shooting his unsilenced gun, which makes the end teleport. Based on where Snake is standing when he makes the noise, he knows exactly where the end's going to go. So he runs straight to him, throws a stun grenade, does a little bit of stamina damage, also freezes him in place. And now we begin the loop. A little bit far away, but he makes it eventually. Does some stamina damage on him with the 6 brain punches, holds him up, which is going to make the end lay down. Nice. And now he's going to hit the end with stun grenades and smoke grenades, which stops the end from being able to escape or throw any stun grenades back at us. And if he repeats the cycle for long enough, he can do quite a lot of damage to him. It's not enough to finish the fight here. He is going to have to chase him a little bit, always. But he got super high damage. Okay, so he can end the fight here. If he has a good position here. Spray. Ooh. Oh, no! That is so unfortunate. So
no.
He went for the punches and whiffed it. He didn't need it. He thought he was going to need to do the punches to finish the fight. But in reality, he was just a little bit too far away and missed. Still, he did not lose much time to that. He saved it. Really good awareness and ability to execute on your backups. It takes good aim to be able to hit the aim at the end while he's running. It's hard. And we see Joe now doing Warehouse 2, the bane of tonight. And he is through. We are 2 for 2 in this race. Let's go.
Very nice. Everyone's done Warehouse 2 now. We did it.
So the warm-up of the tournament is over. Now everyone's ready to actually get racing. Let's go. Love to see it. All in all, these runs have been pretty good from both runners. Not many major mistakes. It's been mostly small stuff. Very exciting.
Got Joe heading on his way towards the end. We'll see how that fight treats him. Had a bit of a struggle on it earlier, but hopefully he will redeem himself this time. I believe in Joe. This is the redemption attempt.
Oh, yeah. And something to keep in mind, of course, is the gap looks much wider than it actually is because Joe's PS3 loads notoriously slowly. However, we are using the load remover for this race, which means that none of those loads are counted. We are comparing these racers based on pure gameplay today. So at the end of the race, we'll see who had the lowest time based on pure gameplay, and that'll determine the winner. Safe strat for Sviatogorny West from Joe.
And he's on to the end, so let's see how it goes.
Ooh. Oh, no. Looks like Joe only managed to land one shot on the end. That is going to be big at the end of the fight when he tries to finish the end in the northwest position. He's most likely not going to be able to do that, so he's going to have to do some chasing. The loop should all work. He should teleport and all that. It's if you shoot him twice, I think that there's issues, but it's still going to work. He's going to do his buffer, throw a smoke grenade, make some noise. And the end, we will know now if he teleported or not. We'll know soon, anyway. Oh, I don't see him there. Okay, he's there. Cool, cool. Clean loop so far from Joe. He's executing the loop very well. Okay, his damage really is not too bad considering he only got one shot on at the beginning. He's gonna have to chase him a little bit, but he can finish the fight with just a shot here when he runs to the south. Oh, he went for the roll. So it's possible, if you time it right, it's possible to roll into the end, knocking him over. And at this health, I think it actually, yeah, just like that, it would have finished the fight. Unfortunately, he was just a little too early, didn't quite get it, but he didn't lose too much time to that, so that's good.
Yeah.
We see now Spartyy is in Mountains 2. Wish I would have mentioned this a little bit too. Ooh! Oh, Spartyy!
Oh my god.
He almost followed that guard down. Okay, this could cause problems with this guard here. This guard's going to hear his stomach growl too early, so he does a CQC, so... Oh, that was risky. Okay. The problem there is that Snake's stamina is super low, so your stomach's going to growl at the wrong moment, and if that guard hears your stomach growl too early, he'll turn around sooner and actually just give you an alert. Nice. So he got the attention of the guard in the back by rolling in a specific point, and then shot the barrels, which killed both of them. Mind you, that doesn't count as a kill. You didn't kill him, the barrels did, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a really good Mountains too, despite the little bit of a scare there hanging out.
that was scary.
So something that Spartyy did at the beginning of Mountain 2 that I didn't have an opportunity to comment on was he did a box headshot on one of those guards, as before in the warehouse. Really good technique for taking out a guard quickly. And also he buffered one of the guard's alerts with 1911 shots, because a lethal weapon will make a guard recoil. And then he used that time to close the distance and managed to get a roll in on that guard, knocking him off the ledge, which also doesn't count as a kill. You didn't kill him, Gravity did.
Very nice Mountains 3 from Spartyy.
Very clean. That room's a silent killer. It really is.
That room's tough.
There's a lot of places where you can very easily get an alert there. And it's a very interesting room. It's a very delicate dance of just barely being in the edge of a guard's detection range and not actually getting an alert. Really interesting room. I think every guard in the room probably alerts on you, notices you at some point. Maybe.
Yeah, they all have a chance to, yeah.
So now we have Spartyy going into the Fury fight. Do we have any predictions? Should we jinx it?
Let's hold off for now. Let's just see what happens.
You know what's funny? There's a lot of ways down these stairs. Everyone has a different way of doing it. Some are faster than others. There's some really weird ones. The fastest way down is to roll halfway down the stairs over every railing, but it's super hard to execute. It's funny.
Yeah, it is really hard to do that, yeah. But everyone's got their own special trick for it.
I actually saw Platonic guy softlock there once. But we won't get into that. So we see Spartyy going into the Fury fight. The goal with the Fury fight is to loop him in position, hopefully. Oh, that's the worst spawn. Okay, so he's not going to get a loop. Because the Fury spawned there, shooting him is pretty much always going to... Oh no, Joe! Took an alert on Mountain 1. Just barely was too far to the right. Got an alert from the rocket guard. So as I was saying...
No.
If he spawns in that position, a shot's always going to knock him off, which means that the loop has basically no chance of succeeding. He's always going to fly off and the fight turns casual fast. But if anyone's good at the Fury backups, it's Spartyy. He is the best at backing up with the Fury. He knows how to fight this guy.
Excuse me?
What, you want to fight me?
It's me. It's obviously me.
Did you see how many dodges he just did? He dodged so many attacks. I've never seen anyone do that. That was insane.
So what he's doing now is he's staying south in the arena. There's no reason to chase the Fury around. He's always going to go somewhere where you can see him from the south, so there's no point in following him around anywhere. You have a sniper rifle, so use it to your advantage. Take those long-range shots. And he did. He executed that backup well.
Very if you're a little bit blind like myself, you might want to use the zoom on the Mosin gun as well to see all the way to the end of the arena, but definitely don't travel down there. That's a mistake. Does Joe know that guard is still up?
Which one?
No, he's fine. He put one trank in him and he was getting closer, but I didn't think the guard had gone down yet. A little bit risky. But He's fine.
The classic strat of going around the rock in the box. Only the finest for Volgan.
He pays him well.
Oh no, that's a whiff, but that's not so punishing on this guard here. It's only really that guard that notices.
I love it when they notice you on the mountain, or any guard really. They'll notice you, and if they get the red exclamation mark but they can't see you, they do that little they do like a little shimmy in place and move always just as you're about to shoot them.
We see Spartyy doing a sort of hybrid Rykov strat right now. He's doing something in between the traditional smoke strat and the MS strat that a few players have been adopting lately. He shoots that guard in the east, in the leg, which makes Rykov run to the nearest radio. And Spartyy knows exactly what that's going to be, so he's going to meet him halfway. And just CQC him, dragging the rest of the way. That's it.
I like that strat a lot. You're essentially spending all the time you would throw the stun grenade and change weapons again to just shoot the guard. Basically, I like the hybrid. It's much safer than the multi-segment strat. Does the same thing and loses very minimal time comparatively.
Ooh, that's scary from Joe. All right, he made it.
You have to. If you stay prone, you're all good.
Yep. He recognized that the guard was going to see him. What he did, he stumbled a little bit and put the box on when he wasn't meant to, which meant that guard was able to see him. But he was able to lay down in time without getting an alert, took out that guard, and made it through clean. Good backup.
Yeah, that was a very good backup. Because getting an alert in Mountains 3 is scary.
It's just such a big room, and it's a difficult room as well. No matter what strat you go with, that room is challenging.
So with Spartyy going into torture, not a whole lot to worry about on his end at the moment. But we have Joe going into the Fury. He has an opportunity to claw back some significant time here because Spartyy had some problems with the Fury. He didn't take any continues, but he did have pretty much a casual Fury for the entire fight because of the bad spawn. So very interested to see what Joe gets. Where the Fury spawns is almost entirely RNG. It can be influenced by where you stand in the arena at a particular moment, but nothing is ever guaranteed with this fight. The best you can do is influence it a little bit and hope. Ideally, you'll get an eastern spawn, so barrel side, and the Fury will land close, so barrel side or eastern close.
Are you ready for this?
He's went east. He's gone east. So did you go? Okay, he went far. So he's just gonna bait the Fury out into shooting him, and after that, oh, unlucky. Ideally,
It's
the
okay.
Fury.
Sorry, Major. It's okay if he runs towards you. If you catch him, but I feel like you have a really increased chance of basically that. Go north. Like if he's walking towards you, you want to shoot once to stop him, and then be as patient as you can with the follow-up shots. That seems to decrease the chance of him blasting off. I think it's affected by how close he is to you when he gets knocked down. So the AI wants to put as much distance between you and him because you're so close. But yeah, a little bit of patience with your shots, and you can normally prevent that. Jose staying in the south as well, as you should. Oh wow. He didn't really have anywhere else to go for the fire. I don't know if that was on purpose. If it was on purpose, Joe is like the best gamer of all time.
That was high IQ. Oh, just missed that last
so
shot.
Unfortunate.
Fight. But that was high IQ, that ledge grab. So ledge grabs in this game give you iframes. So if the Fury is shooting at you, you can grab the ledge and you won't die. And that last shot finishes the fight. So both runners had a pretty rough Fury, but neither of them took any continue. So the time loss isn't so bad. I would say that
very nice for both of them.
Fury was probably just a little bit better because he kept the loop for slightly longer, I think. No, actually, I think they were about the same because they both got 3 shots off in the beginning. Anyway, Spartyy now is escaping torture. What he did is he grabbed the fork so he can take out the fake death pill, and more importantly, the transmitter that Sniper Wolf placed on Solid Snake here just a minute ago. And then he kicked a rat in the corner, which we're going to use later on. Spun around in the cure menu to make Snake vomit, which gets Johnny's attention, makes him open up the door. And that's going to be our way out of here. Oh, that's unfortunate, but he made it. That's good.
He just liquid infinited Johnny.
Yeah, just give Johnny the old left-right good night, and he's out of here. Grab some smoke grenades off his corpse, and we're good. So now he's going to use that rat that he grabbed in the cell. He's going to immediately throw it to the cell, which gets the attention of a guard in an alleyway, makes him turn his head, and then he's going to use the smoke grenade trick to get past this guard here. Clean. That's good. That trick is frame perfect.
Yeah, at the end there, everyone's so scared, so they hide behind those boxes. You don't need to do it. If you're frame perfect, you don't need to do that. It's like a backup.
And Joe's doing the classic smoke grenade strat.
He does a weird thing with the smoke grenade where he does it in first person, and there's just no need. I don't like it.
True.
If he gets it first time, I'll allow it, but if it fails, then it needs to go. I don't like to do anything where you have that much influence. Like, does that make sense? You don't want to. It's like anytime you have to free aim shots, right? There's always a chance you're going to mess it up, so we try and reduce that wherever possible. And you don't need to free aim that smoke grenade, so I wouldn't recommend it.
But it worked.
It did work. That is
Joe
true.
gets to do it again another day.
I won't write him a strongly worded letter about how I feel about that smoke grenade.
Not this time, anyway.
Yeah, not this time. Maybe some other time.
Okay, so Spartyy didn't just forget last time. He played to his advantage, didn't do the cigar and grenade trick to get a faster RTA. He knew he was going to IGT, so he played out doing a IGT strats. This time, though, he knows that RTA is a factor. So he's using the cigar to lower his health as much as he can. And in the Sorrow fight, he's going to throw a grenade at his feet to kill himself a little bit quicker. It's about 2 or 3 seconds faster than drowning yourself.
Actually, he did pick up in Mountains 2 the RPG, so...
Oh, did he? I didn't catch that. Okay,
we might be seeing that.
Yeah, you should definitely be using that if he has it. Oh, he's still going to drown himself. Very interesting. Very quirky.
Might just be his own preferred way to do it, then.
Maybe. The reason why there's a discrepancy between RTA and IGT strats for the Sorrow is because the Sorrow doesn't count towards IGT. The game looks at what frame the fight started and then resets the frame counter to that frame once the fight ends. So none of the stuff that happened in between counts unless you take a continue. So for leaderboard purposes, what you do during the Sorrow does not matter at all. You could walk all the way to the end if you want, and it would not affect time in any way.
I think people simply drown themselves because you can't mess it up. You can mess up the inputs for grenade or RPG, but you can never mess up just pressing X. And the time difference isn't huge, so there's nothing wrong with the drowning strat, really.
Yeah, it's mostly when you're at very, very high level. You do want to worry about that.
You do want to equip the cigar as early as possible. Basically on the first time you roll. So normally just any way you can throw it into a roll, basically. Out the door of the prison is normally a good place. But if you're using grenade or RPG, it doesn't really matter where you equip the cigar as long as you do it at the start of the sewers, basically. I feel like with the RPG, it's even less of a problem. You may not even have to hook up the cigar with
You
the
do.
RPG strat. Even if you break your leg, it's not enough.
Yeah,
That's
not
a
enough.
shame.
You still have to shoot yourself twice. But I think that the RPG is considerably faster than the grenade. I think that even if you do RPG yourself twice, it's still going to be faster than the grenade. I'm not certain about that.
Probably the grenade is exceptionally fast. Sorry, the RPG. The rocket-propelled grenade is exceptionally fast.
Yep.
You're almost there.
Just
You were
instant,
1/3
right?
of
You
it.
don't have to wait for it to go off. Grenade takes ages. You have to hold it all the way back and then throw it at the floor and then wait for it to go off.
But a rocket propelled grenade? That's pretty fast.
And we see more Cold War camo strats from Spartyy. He's going to use that later on in the bike chase. At the moment, though, he's going back into Groznygrad, and he's going to do something totally normal, because this is how guards work. As I said before, Volgan only hires the finest guard. World renowned for their attentiveness.
Nothing gets past them.
The reason that works is because when a guard sees his fellow guard go down, his AI prioritizes checking on that guard before pretty much anything else. Most things anyway, and especially seeing the box. The guard will try to help his friend before he worries about doing anything with the box. So as long as you have the box on, you won't get an alert. If you walk right in front of him, you're good.
It's one of those. I feel like it was an oversight, and I feel like they would have patched it if they noticed it. In the development stages, obviously, we're back in 2004.
Yeah. So is he going to go for the killing the mechanic again? It looks like he is. Okay, let's see if he pulls it off this time. This can be kind of tight. We saw in the last race, this cost him a continue in this room. He just got stuck on the wall at the end, and had just enough time to let the guards see him.
Yeah, you have to be damn fast. I messed around. Shout out someone from my ESA rerun. It was in the chat, and they were like, "Oh, I think they were called Floobies." And they were like, "Did you know that you can damage Shadowhard by killing the technicians?" And I was like, "No, what do you mean?" And like no one had heard of it, right? I was posting in the Discord, and no one had heard of it. And unfortunately, it doesn't save time, but it is interesting.
Well, it's safer. It's a little bit of movement issues from Joe. It's definitely safer. It's a replacement for needing to worry about getting high damage during the runway, right? And you know, the thing is, the RPG creates so much lag when you shoot it. It could be faster overall if you killed enough. But we see Spartyy now going into Volgan 1. He's going to knock him over with a CQC shove, and then shoot him while he's standing up. While he's standing up, Volgan doesn't get any iframes, so you can do as much damage as you want in that time. SVD does a lot, and it can shoot pretty fast, so we use that. Phase 2, he's just going to damage Volgan during his iframes between when he tries to launch an attack, and you can stun lock him this way and finish Phase 2 pretty easily. That was a really clean Phase 2. That was a very clean Volgan in general.
Something
very nice.
small you might not have noticed is he realized he used a little bit too much ammo in Phase 1, and he actually ended Phase 1 with the M1911, which is a very good call on Sparty's side. Because it is possible to accidentally use too many shots on Phase 1, and then you don't have enough to finish off Phase 2, and you got to use the M1911, which could be a little finicky with trying to get your damage in.
So you'll notice that
more tried to menu it.
You'll notice that Spartyy has a pretty big chunk missing off the Shadowhard's health already, even though he just started the room. That's because he killed the mechanic, of course. It doesn't look like much health, but to put it into perspective, this amount of damage that he's done to the Shadowhard now is almost as much damage as you would have done at the end of the room. And he had it at the beginning of the room. So he's effectively getting double damage in this. It is a much bigger difference than you might think. It's a full hit on the Shadowhard's weak spot during the actual fight. definitely.
Yeah, if you're not great at damaging the Shagohod, and it isn't, it takes time to become good at. I feel technicians are probably a good way to get around that initially while you're learning the fight. You can kill 2 with minimal time loss, but the timing is really, really tight to kill them both.
Oh no, Joe! He tried to roll into the load zone, but he ended up diving into the water on mistake.
Oh no.
Yeah, in MGS3, the roll, it's a little bit faster at the beginning of the roll, but you have a lot of recovery frames at the end. But because of that speed boost you get at the beginning, we try to roll into as many load zones as we can, and that's what he was doing there, but he just was at the wrong angle. Spartyy opting to use stun grenades during the bike chase as opposed to the RPG, which is definitely the easier choice. But I think that stun grenades will be a little bit faster because the RPG, of course, creates quite a lot of lag. And you want to reduce lag as much as possible because when the game lags, the game slows down because it doesn't support frame skipping, so it has to render every frame, wait for every frame to be rendered. And when the game slows down, you lose time. Even with the load remover does not account for lag.
So yeah, lag reduction is very important.
Yep, and that's why they're going to both be looking up or down as much as they can in Bike Chase to try and reduce as much lag as they can. So he's coming up on the end of this part of Bike Chase. There's an RPG guard here at the end, but he shouldn't be too much of an issue because Spartyy has the Cold War camo, and that was a well-placed stun grenade anyway. That was a clean... I'm not sure what that room is called, but it was clean.
It was clean. It was clean.
Oh, okay, yeah. I for some reason thought he was going to shoot the Mark 22, but no, he's just going to stop these guys from shooting altogether with the Cold War camo. This is really good. So this is probably, honestly, the optimal way to do this room. Cold War camo could actually be really good for New Game Plus.
Yeah, that's pretty good for reducing lag.
Wow, that was super close on Joe's end. Joe went for the shot behind that guard and almost shot the guard in front, which would have caused a caution, which would have been really bad in this room because if you even have a caution, so much as a caution, this truck will not take you anywhere. And if you get a caution, it immediately gets transferred to every guard in the room, and there are even guards that are technically outside of the playable area who will also get a caution. So basically, if you get a caution in this room, you have to fake death though. You have no choice, or take a continue ban. And now we see him in the Shagohod hangar, doing something a little bit different than what Spartyy did. He's going to take out this guard. Very interesting. I'm not sure why he does that. What you can do is you can shoot this wall just next to where he's standing now, which he just did. He shot the tank, which does the same thing, and it gets the attention of a scientist, which basically sends all the guards in the room to a caution, and they try to get out of there. They run to a somewhere in the room that's totally out of our way, and you get a pretty much straight shot to all of the fuel tanks, so you can easily plant the C3.
Spartyy going for some shots on the Shagohod. Again, you can do a little bit of damage on the Shagohod before the fight starts, and it will carry over into the actual boss fight itself. But it is a little tricky, because you don't want to hit the treads. If you hit the treads, the Shagohod gets sent all the way back, and then you can't do any damage to it until it gets closer again, so...
Sparty's banging out some really quick
good damage. Really good damage here.
Okay. Joe went for some decent extra damage. You can get an extra shot in on Volgan in phase 1 if you basically shoot just before he starts standing up. You can do a little bit more damage that way. Pacing out his shots cleanly so he makes sure he has enough ammo to finish phase 2. It's really easy to just lay down the trigger and run out of ammo in phase 2. So a lot of players will like to pace out their shots like that to make sure they've got enough.
Yeah, that was actually why Spartyy earlier ended the fight using the M1911, just to make sure he had enough ammo.
And now Sparty's going into the Shagohod. Apache, do you want to explain the loop?
Oh, sure, why not? So you'll if you ever see anyone holding their RPG in first person, as soon as the fight starts, they're trying to set up the loop. So we have to hit the tread at a very specific time. We know that it's worked if the Shagohod stays completely stationary and Eva continues driving around it. Once we've got the Shagohod in this position, you don't want what's happened to Spartyy to happen. We'll essentially do 2 on the back and 1 on the treads, and it will let us keep the back of the Shagohod for the entire fight. It's very finicky, it's very easy to lose that position, and because you are kind of getting into a position that you shouldn't be in, it does mess with the AI, so if you break the Shagohod loop thereafter, the Shagohod can do some crazy things, and Eva can try and drive through it and all kinds of stuff. But basically we're just trying to keep the back of the Shagohod for the entire fight. Sparty's having some real trouble with it now.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the loop even dropped. I'm not sure what happened. Looked like he was doing it right.
It seems like he needed to. He hit the back kind of late, right? So when he did his tread shot, the timing wasn't correct. So he hit the back really late, which is generally always bad. And then when he hit the tread, it recoiled and lifted up, which is a sign that your loop's kind of gone. Losing a lot of time on this fight here. It's all good for Joe, this.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for him to claw back a lot of time. I think he's lost about a minute so far, and he's still not even, 3/4 done with the fight yet.
And he just can't get the back. I feel like he's been looking at the Shagohod's front for most of the fight.
Definitely. Doing 360. Oh no, is he gonna reset? Oh geez, that was scary. What was that?
I think he's just mad.
I would be upset with this too. This is not good. I mean, there is like a part of me that does say you should reset. Like, you shouldn't.
There's definitely the opportunity that resetting the fight earlier on could have been faster, but this is such an unfortunate loop. But keep in mind that this is just what the fight was about a year ago. We didn't even know that the loop existed. We weren't doing the loop at all. So every fight could have been just like this. We were losing literal minutes to this fight for years. But finally, he finishes phase 1. Sends us into phase 2. Phase 2, we're going to do another timed shot on the treads here. Stops him in a specific place. We know where that's going to be. We're going to meet him there, shoot him in the head, and then shoot the treads again. And that will stun lock the Shagohod until the fight is over. The nice thing about doing lethal strats here is that the SVD is only a 3-hit kill as opposed to the Mosin, which is a 4-hit kill. Ooh, that's super unfortunate. Volgan got just a little bit. Volgan has a shield. If he's looking at you, his shield will block your bullets 100% of the time. And because Volgan got to move just a tiny bit, it was just close enough to shield block that shot. But that one finished the fight, and he's out. Really, really rough Shagohod fight all around. I hate to see it, but he's out.
There is still a chance that Joe could have a pretty solid Shagohod, or even a really good one. And he could make some time up here, so We'll have to see.
Absolutely. What do you guys think Spartyy lost for that Chegohod? How much time?
Oh man,
Somewhere around 2 minutes.
yeah, something like that.
I agree. So that's
Somewhere
2
around 2
minutes that Joe can potentially claw back. Now, what we know, Joe does not do the loop, which is a little bit scary, but you can definitely have a really good Chegohod even without the loop. So very interested to see how this plays out for him. In about
Yeah, I feel like Joe's
3 or 4
pretty strong
minutes
at those glancing shots as well. Like, he's just so used to fighting the Shagohod that way. If someone's going to do it like that and get a good time, it's going to be Joe. Because we just freak out when we lose the loop now. We were having a bad time when we lose the loop.
So again, Spartyy going for pure lag reduction strategies in this area. Just taking as much of his time looking up at the sky, enjoying the lovely weather we're experiencing right now. Look at that. Clouds in sight.
But that is one of the advantages of the Cold War camo. You really don't have to do anything. You can just look up for the whole room, and you're good. Might actually be faster to use the Cold War camo overall, because all the other strats require you to either look down or shoot your gun, which would produce a lot of lag. So the last rooms of Bike Chase, these last 3 rooms, are the laggiest. Most of your time save in Bike Chase comes from these 3 rooms, particularly the very, very last one.
Mm-hmm.
So Cold War is definitely a very good strat here. You'll also notice he's got the life med on. He's not shooting these platform guards at all because they're not going to do that much damage to him. He's just going to tank that tree, the log at the end that Eva expects you to shoot. He's got enough health for it. He's got a life med. He can do it, and that's going to let him get maximum lag reduction. He's never going to look down at all for this whole room. This room in particular is super laggy because there's obviously a lot of effects going on. There's rain. When the flying platform guards come near you, their searchlights produce a lot of lag. In addition to that, shooting your RPG, of course, creates a lot of lag. The explosion and the smoke trails and all that. And then if you get set on fire, that's even more. There's just so many things that can compound and make this room super, super laggy.
Damn it.
I always used the Cold War camo when I played this game casually.
It's really cool.
Awesome.
If I'm being honest, the way it works, it's an awesome idea.
So Joe is going into the Shagohod now. Let's see how this fares for him. Not off to a great start. The Shagohod is spinning in the same direction as him, which means it's going to be a little bit hard for him to get those glancing shots, at least early, but he did get one eventually. Shagohod's treads being the Shagohod again, getting some iframes, completely tanking those very clear tread hits that should stun it, but don't.
It literally took 4 rockets back to back with no sparks or anything. It just took them. I thought he was gonna rock. I thought Joe was gonna rock himself there for a moment.
I did too.
This fight is turning out far, far better than what Spartyy had. He is saving a lot of time here. This fight, especially considering that it has no loop, has been pretty good so far.
Yeah, a lot better than Sparty's, but honestly, Sparty's looked like literal hell.
Okay, hold on. He's got a little bit of a loop going on here. These last 3 shots, those were really good. That was basically the loop right there at the end. I'm not sure if he knew that he was doing that, but that was really, really impressive. So that saved so much time over what Spartyy got. That's probably a minute and a half saved on Spartyy right there.
Yeah, that's a lot of time save.
And again, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that this race is being determined by time without load. So we are considering pure gameplay. We know that Joe's PS3 loads quite a lot slower than pretty much everyone else's, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing this. At the end of the race, we're going to know exactly how much time they spent in gameplay, and that's what's going to determine the winner of this race.
And as Joe goes into the last section of Bike Chase, we've got Spartyy over here entering the Eva escort. Again, this first screen, just, feed Eva the noodles, save some time later on, cure her injuries. And then after we hit this cutscene trigger, we're going to call Eva to follow us, and we're basically just going to run straight to the loading zone. You don't actually have to do anything to the guards behind you here. As long as you just keep moving, they will never catch up to you, regardless of difficulty.
I think we've seen just such a range of how people can play, and it's scary when you step into a tournament like this, and it's difficult to perform under the pressure. And I think we've seen every player in the tournament so far crack in some respects, or at least show weaknesses. I mean, we don't have the result of this race until they've both killed the boss, because we will be timing without loads. But I have a feeling, based on how they both played, that Spartyy will come out ahead still. I just don't want to be sure of it until I see it. But
I feel like, regardless, it's going to be close.
Yeah. Can we get a fundraiser going for Joe's new PS3? Although I suppose with load remover, it doesn't really matter, right? I think.
Yeah, it won't matter. Okay, it seems Sparty's learned from his last few attempts of this room. I don't like the way he handles those first three guards, but he fixed that issue up.
I find it scary to take out any more guards than are really necessary to go fast. So that guard in the middle, the one that's walking around, I consider him a liability. I never take him out. I think the risk is just too high to miss and then have him alert on you.
Spartyy also is still upset about that continue he took prior in this area in his last race. Teabagging the guard that caught him.
Such an absolute killer of a room, this. Evil room.
Good, recognize the suppressor. Thought for a second there he wouldn't notice, but he did.
I feel like it's so satisfying to take out that last guard that's behind the tree now from Spartyy, and then your suppressor comes off with that shot. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, because you don't need that thing on anymore.
Yeah, I love it when people put the suppressor back on at the boss when they're fighting the boss. It's like, yeah, watch out for the guards, mate.
I hear your shots. Joe on the last screen of Bike Chase. This is probably the one you have the least to worry about in. There's really not much that can happen here that can make you, or I guess like end your run, because really that's kind of all that can happen here. If you like die somehow. Spartyy on the boss. Good counter. Let's see how the loop goes.
So far, so good. Very satisfying fight to do well, and horrendous if you make a mistake, because you're guaranteed to just lose so much time. We're all just holding our breaths, watch him do the boss because of all the mistakes people have made today on it.
And that is time for Spartyy.
That is time.
Is Spartyy okay? Someone check on Spartyy. That was like a revenge run for him. He had to get back at all the things that had annoyed
Yeah,
him
I
in the
know.
previous race. We'll switch over to Joe's sound, take a look at Joe finishing up here. He's just out the bike chase, a couple of rooms left to go.
Let me have some more.
It's very weird that he does a menu there. I don't like that he does a menu there.
I was also thinking. Generally, it's never worth it to unequip weapon. It's always going to be slower in the long run.
Yeah, when I first started learning the game, I would menu, whenever I was putting something new into the menu, I'd take out all the stuff you don't need, and then you learn very quickly that the menus just take so long in this game. Leave it all in there. There's tricks to get through the menus quickly, like once you've shot the final guard with the Mark 22, you can menu the Mosin Nagant because it's right next to it, and then put it on your previous. Once you get to start the boss fight, you already have it. So there's ways to get around a big menu.
Did you guys know that there is a light punch and a hard punch in MGS3?
I did not know that.
You might notice that sometimes when Joe punches here, he's not grunting, and sometimes he does grunt. It's because he's pressing circle lightly sometimes.
Yeah, when you press it lightly, he just does like a tap. When you press it stronger, he puts more force into it.
Do you know what you're
Do you know if that actually does more or less damage, Minnie?
I don't think it has any effect on the damage, but again, I don't know, since usually we don't punch cards to knock them out, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I was
Could
thinking
be.
more like for the end.
Oh, maybe. I guess that would be the best place to check since we can actually see it go down.
Mhm. Joe lost a little bit of time there to a... he left the box on for too long and made Eva stop moving. Oh, that's a scary shot. All of these are headshots. Oh, if he missed any of those, the whole room was screwed. That was so scary.
You can't even complain because it worked, but what was he thinking? It's so scary. I wouldn't do that.
Never.
Yeah, I would not do that.
I would not get a continue in here on Vox Sound. That would be nuts.
No, of course not. Especially not on marathon. In a marathon. Wouldn't happen.
I just wouldn't do it.
I hear something.
Oh. Going for that middle guard can be risky. That guard is not a threat. He will really never alert on you. So shooting at him is only a risk. Especially in such a scenario as this where he actually let Eva get really close while he was shooting at that guard. So she was not making any progress. We actually lost a little bit of time for that.
What did she scream about?
I'm not certain. I'm guessing she saw probably the guard in the middle. He stood up, so Eva probably saw that.
Maybe.
That's my best guess.
Let's see what you're made of.
Whiffed the first shot, but he backed it up with another solid one. And the loop is going to continue as normal. And he buffers before shooting the boss here, because otherwise you'll knock her over, and she'll get iframes, and you'll lose the loop. But this is the basic premise of the loop. Mosin to the head, stun grenade straight up to keep her in her place, and a slam. This is the final cycle. Pop her once in the head, run away. She's going to charge you, counter it, finish the fight with 2 shots and a slam, and it's over. Good counter. Oh,
I knew he was. I knew it. I knew he wasn't gonna have enough time. It's like shades of Major right now. Major had to do this versus the boss earlier.
Yeah. If the boss runs away from you like that, you want to be really careful if you chase her, because if you're too close to her, she'll just she'll run away forever. She'll never stop. So you gotta let her get away from you.
Nice try.
Please say he has a life.
There goes this
man.
Mosin.
That was his stun grenade.
Oh, was it? I thought.
I don't-
that's a
see, like,
death!
you can't run at her like that.
That's so risky. Yeah. She does have a potential to knife you when you're that close to her like that, and that's exactly what we saw just now.
Risky business.
The boss has been giving so many people trouble today.
Yeah, you'll love to see it. It's about time the boss gave some runners the hands. Like it's normally the other way around. To be fair.
Yeah, really. She is never a run killer. She's enjoying her time to shine. Oh no, and he messes it!
You can't CQC late. Like, you have to just give it up. If you're not fast enough because you messed up your menu or whatever, you have to just accept that.
You're better than I.
Hey, Spartyy.
welcome in,
GG.
Spartyy.
Thank you.
You seem like you were getting revenge on all the stuff that wronged you in the previous race.
Telling you, after the end, what happened? Like, I just couldn't recover with it was like a domino effect once I ran out of
Here I come.
ammo and suppressor. Yeah, this run was a lot more. Also got warmed up as well.
It does help. I'm gonna be hella warmed up tomorrow.
Especially like I raced before, so it's like an extra warm up, not just like a warm up you do on your own. That put me in like a racing mindset. Much easier, like doing it the second time. Kind of tired of MGS3.
Yeah.
He's played it 3 times. He's done.
And that is time for Joe.
It's time for Joe.
GG to both of you. We will sadly see Joe eliminated. We don't know for sure because we don't have the in-game times, but I'm assuming that Joe has been beaten on this occasion.
Spartyy, what was your time without loads on the boss kill?
Without loads, 1 hour 3.
103. What did you say?
It's her.
Yeah, 1 hour 3 seconds.
Oh, 1 hour
Oh.
3 seconds. Okay, and Joe, what was yours? Welcome, Joe. By the way.
Hey, GG Spartyy.
Jeez,
Yeah, the
Joe.
game was just
Always an
not
honor.
kind to me today.
Why are you giving me this?
Joe, can you quickly
Yeah.
tell us what your time without loads was?
For the last boss split,
Yeah.
Snake.
it's 104.19.
Okay. So there's what I was talking about earlier about the discrepancy between RTA and time without loads. We know that Joe's console loads really slow, so the difference was not as big as you might as the gap would appear.
Yep.
GG to both of you. Obviously, like Joe, you have been eliminated, but we do appreciate you taking part and all the effort you went to behind the scenes to help with the running of this as well. So thank you for everything, mate.
I don't know if you guys still had my game capture feed on, but I snuck in a meme right
Whatever.
before my run was over.
I never listen with audio. I always miss out on this kind of stuff. Yeah, Thank you,
All
and
right.
I'm sure you will be back in a different capacity as we go through the tournament. We are done with the games for today. Tomorrow, starting at 12 EST, we will have a special exhibition race between Makarov 360 and Silent Martyr on the PlayStation 2 copy of Metal Gear Solid 3. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's also on European Extreme. Has no bearing on the tournament, but they're the solitary runners of the PS2 version. So they're going to come show us how that's done. Following that will be me versus Major Zero about 2 p.m. EST, and then the loser of that will face Spartyy. After those races are complete, we will know how the grand final is looking, and the grand final could be 1 or 2 games possibly. Because of double elimination, we have a winner and a loser in the grand final, and the loser has to win twice to win the tournament. I'm sure we'll explain that in much more detail tomorrow as well, and I really hope I muted Joe's stream because it's playing Way to Fall right now.
You
Can we
muted
go
it
to
himself.
my IGT?
No, I already muted it. It's a force of habit now.
Yeah, we can go to your IGT, Sparty.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, sure, man.
Probably a new
Yeah,
game
wait.
plus PB,
Oh,
Very
really?
nice.
or my first new game plus run. Submit it.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. I'm actually curious. Did you get any resets anywhere?
No, I had no continue.
Wow, way to go, man. I mean, I think that's probably like the cleanest run we've had today because everybody, even the runs before this, had like mistakes everywhere with continuous. Definitely
I can't
hard to keep it up in
remember.
a race.
I can't remember if I had Foxhound or I didn't. At I killed the electrician dude, technician guy.
Yeah, that's probably going to be your only kill.
Yeah, I think that was the only
When
kill.
I was in the Sorrow River, I saw like a soldier, and I was like, "Did I kill anyone? Maybe." I was like, "Whatever."
Well, when you
Get
die,
another
you
kill.
always see that guard that kind of like, dies with you, but it wouldn't be the maintenance tech. Like, that's too early.
And I'm like, "Oh," I was like, "I'll just show off this new game plus strat I was working on." Kill.
Also,
Uh,
Sparty,
Just
can we?
fight.
Yeah, the Shagohod bullied you pretty hard. That was very unfortunate. I did want to talk about though, Sparty, your very close call on Mountains 2. You gave us quite the heart attack.
where he just barely hanged on.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, that was scary.
Yeah, see, I had 2 kills. So I did kill one other soldier. That's why I killed
No
the
continues,
technician.
no.
wow, way to go, dude.
Yeah, very good.
No LT either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
GG on
I
the
guess.
PB, man.
Yeah, all I was gonna say was just GG's